Hello and welcome to TLDR on Earshot, where we answer the questions everyone's asking and we make it crisp and fast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is departing for a tour to the UAE, the Netherlands, Sweden, Norway and Italy from May the 15th to 20th. And the thrust of this visit is on energy security. This visit comes amid an international oil crisis, the fallout of which is now being felt in India as well. The West Asia conflict, a fragile ceasefire between Iran and US and Israel, and a choked Strait of Hormuz through which 20% of global oil trade happens. All of this is weighing on India as Prime Minister makes this visit. In the UAE, he is set to sign a pact that's linked to strategic petroleum reserves. UAE was the first country that partnered with India on its strategic petroleum reserves back in 2018. Now the two nations are set to expand the deal. In this episode, we will dive deep into what exactly are strategic petroleum reserves and more. Joining me on this topic is my colleague, Garima.
Thank you so much, Prabhi.
Thank you, Garima, for being here. Now, the first question is, what are strategic oil reserves?
So, in very simple terms, India's strategic petroleum reserves, they are kind of fuel banks built to act as an emergency stockpile during global supply disruption like we are witnessing right now. So, they are underground, high-capacity crude oil storages, and these reserves are managed by Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited. And most of these reserves are usually built on the coastal areas because of their closeness to the refineries. And in India, these reserves are located at Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh and Mangaluru and Padur districts in Karnataka. And the oil, which is imported from other nations, it is stored in excavated rock caverns located deep underground on the east and west coasts. And they ensure easy access to the refineries. And given the current oil crisis that we are witnessing, the Indian government is now expanding the capacity of these petroleum storages. And now more reserves are planned in Chandigarh district of Odisha and one more facility in Padur in Karnataka. And these reserves basically help any country when the oil supply is low due to any geopolitical tension. And governments aim to fill as much as they possibly can when the international oil prices are low. So they act as emergency buffer.
Right, I understand.
So Deepavali, how large are India's reserve capacity as of now, and how is the petroleum stored in these reserves?
All right, yeah. So the government of India has set up 5.33 million metric tons of strategic petroleum capacity. So this is, like you mentioned, it's there at Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, where the reserves capacity is 1.33 MMT. In Karnataka, in Mangaluru, which is in Karnataka, there's 1.5 MMT reserve, and in Padur, Karnataka, it's 2.5 MMT. When these are completely filled, then they offer approximately a 9 to 10 days import cover for oil based on our current consumption levels. Now, a report dated March 2026 says that the actual volume stored in these reserves was approximately 3.372 MMT, which is slightly less than the total capacity. Now, these are just the phase one oil reserves that India has. The government has given approval for phase two, which is now in the stage of planning and execution. So that when those come online, then it will raise the total reserve capacity from 9.5 days to 22 days overall. Now, these are just the government's reserves. The commercial capacity is higher. So refineries also have a buffer stock. Usually this is about a 2 months buffer. And at a recent event, the oil minister Hardeep Puri said that India has 60 days of crude and 60 days of LNG alongside 45 days of LPG rolling stock. He also asserted that no supply side crisis exists. Also remember, the armed forces also have their own fuel stock. Now, all of this is substantial, but it's still less than what the International Energy Agency's recommendation is, which is 90 days of net import cover of oil for member nations. India holds an associate status in the IEA. Now, the second question which you asked was, how is the oil stored in these reserves? So the oil is stored in very massive underground caverns. This is considered the safest options to store hydrocarbons underground. These caves can be about 30 meters high. They have no steel or concrete lining, which means that water pressure is used to hold the oil in place inside the rocks. Also, the absence of steel and concrete, it means that it reduces cost and overall maintenance as well. The oil from these places is moved to refineries through pipelines or through ships. Now, the engineering aside, Garima, it also takes a lot of political will to build these reserves. I mean, you have to have the resources, you have to have, a lot of a vision also to build these. So, how did India go about making these reserves?
So, like you said, one is infrastructural front. So in India, we mostly store these oil in rock caverns. Some countries also use salt caverns. So mostly in Gulf nations. But in India, we use rock caverns. But these reserves are dedicated large scale storages, and some of them are built, via, some are government funded entirely. Some are run by private players, and some are, run through a public-private partnership model. So India uses all three to, manage their petroleum reserves. And most of the countries, they fill their reserves while international oil prices are low. And India has also done that in the past. When Ukraine-Russia war was there and most of the countries had, excluded Russia, India continued to buy oil from Russia at that time to maintain its reserve. And some of the nations, they also buy some amount of excess oil more than they require to be able to store some of it for emergency situations like these. So in India, how did we build our petroleum reserves? So in 1990 and 1991, during the Gulf War, India also faced a very severe oil crisis. And so the proposal for a national oil reserve system came into being. And then under the government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, in the late 1990s and early 2000s, this proposal was forwarded. And the project ultimately went on from planning stage to execution under the government of Manmohan Singh. So in 2004, from 2004 to 2006, phase one of this Strategic Petroleum Reserve Program was implemented. And under phase one, we had the three locations where we have our reserves right now. And later on, the government felt like this is not enough. We need more reserves. So under the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a phase two was launched to add more such reserves in the country. So two more sites that are coming, one in Padur and one Odisha. So those are part of the phase two of this program. And also to ensure these reserves remain filled during the 2020 oil price crash, India purchased large volumes of crude oil at discounted price to fill its reserves.
All right.
So, yeah. And Deepavali, why is PM Modi visiting the UAE particularly for a pact on strategic oil reserve? And why now?
By now. That's right. So the Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited, or the ISPRL, which is the body that manages India's reserve petroleum, it's likely to sign a new memorandum of understanding with Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, or ADNOC, on the sidelines of the meeting that Prime Minister Modi will have with the UAE president in Abu Dhabi. The ADNOC is now exploring the possibility of expanding its role in India's strategic oil reserves. It might participate in phase two of the facilities in Padur and Chandikhol in Karnataka and Odisha, respectively. So remember, ADNOC was the first foreign company to partner with India and to store oil in Indian reserves in 2018. Based on an agreement that was signed in 2017 that permitted ADNOC to use a facility to store its oil in Mangaluru. The agreement will allow ADNOC to sell oil to local refiners, but give the government of India the first right to oil in the case of an emergency. So in this manner, India saves on cost of importing crude oil while maintaining the first rights during an emergency. So the Prime Minister's visit now does come at a crucial time. It comes right after the UAE has exited OPEC and OPEC+. So now that it's exited the oil cartel, it's not limited by any production constraints as it was when it was part of that grouping. Also, the UAE is India's fourth largest source of crude oil, and it meets about 11% of India's requirements. So this does seem like a crucial time to expand the already existing partnership with UAE amid the war and amid, the energy crisis. Garima, now what are the steps that the Indian government has so far taken to strengthen the strategic oil reserves?
Yeah, so one of the major steps that the Indian government has recently taken is to expand the SPRs, Strategic Petroleum Reserves, by increasing the storage capacity to 11.83 million metric tons from existing 5.33 MMT. And it is also planning to cut down public debt. So the Indian government is planning that this expansion should be done via a public-private partnership model. So it will reduce the financial burden of the government alone. And it is also pushing private players to hold these reserves in these facilities, and also commercialization of these storage spaces. So if more private players come into picture, so it will share the financial burden with the government, and we can have more reserves, which will help us in crises like these. And at present, our storage are mostly on coast in rock caverns, but now the government is also exploring options for having salt caverns for oil storage in towns like Bikaner in Rajasthan.
Right.
And they aim to fill these oil reserves as much as possible when the global prices are low. So it is constantly, looking for options, like whenever they have it, they'll do it. And India is now also pushing for, green energy, and it is trying to reduce its dependency on fossil fuels and usage of such fuels. So they are now importing crude oil and LNG from multiple regions, such as Middle East, Africa, and the US and Australia. And it has also signed long-term gas supply deals to avoid sudden price spikes or shortages. And of course, the green energy push. And we have heard a lot about ethanol mixing in petrol. So yes, the government is promoting natural gas, ethanol blended petrol, biodiesel, compressed biogas, green hydrogen, and electric vehicles. And now we are also listening about syngas.
Yeah.
So that also, and programs like ethanol blending are aimed at making transport cleaner. So it will not only help us with handling the AQI situation, but also improving energy security and reducing India's oil import burden.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, Deepavali, how do India's reserves compare that of other nations such as US and China?
Okay, so India, it does rank a little lower in the global hierarchy of countries that have large oil reserves. So the US has the largest. The US Strategic Petroleum Reserve was formed during the first international oil supply shock of 1973, when Arab countries, during a war, the Arab countries had choked oil to several Western nations, including the United States. At its peak, when the US reserve volumes were the highest, that was in 2009 to 12, and at that time it held about 727 million barrels of crude oil. Today, now the Department of Energy in the United States, amid this energy crisis and the supply shock, it's been loaning oil from its strategic petroleum reserves to companies, and they will repay the DOE in crude, and the premium is as high as 24%. Now, this oil is being released in order to stabilize markets and reduce any impact on US taxpayers. The US SPR is held in caverns at 4 sites on the coasts of Texas and Louisiana. And according to reports, it currently holds about 384 million barrels, which is less than what the world uses in 4 days. At number 2 comes in China, which has very aggressively built its oil reserves over the last decade. In fact, reports say that in 2007, it really pushed building oil reserves, and 475 million barrels is what it has in stock at the end of 2017, according to some reports. Japan holds the 3rd highest oil reserves, and it has enough oil in reserve to last 230 days. This country has also dipped into its reserves amid this current conflict, as Japan, although it has substantial reserves, but also remember, these countries are highly dependent on crude oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz, which is currently blockaded.
Yeah, right, Bobby. So I think we have answered most of the questions, and so this is all on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening to TLDR at Earshot. Take care and goodbye. We'll see you in the next episode.
You are listening to Earshot Podcasts. Find us on earshot.in, on YouTube at Earshot Media, and download our app, Earshot, Indian Podcast app.